if TikTok is actually getting banned in a month, I don't even give a fuck anymore. I'm going to start saying how I actually feel. And let me start by saying that the US government is such an embarrassment and complete disgrace to the American people.
Well,
The
they are
fact that
every
they're
day.
willing to ban this app, the same app that contributes significantly to the US economy, significantly to the US job market, and will ultimately negatively impact millions of Americans, whether they're on the app or not, just through general business sales traffic, and labeling that as a national security threat. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of unidentified drones flying over some of the most populated areas of the United States, and yet we're being told, oh yeah, we don't know what those are, but don't worry, they're not a threat to you. Oh, and TikTok fucking is.
Okay,
Are we not
she has a
seeing
point
just
with
the
that.
level of corruption and fraudulence occurring in our government right now? This is absolutely ridiculous. And if you think for 1 second that Mark Zuckerberg's loser app, Elon Musk's loser app, didn't march their way over to the government and say, here's 40, 50 mil, ban TikTok for us, we want more traffic on our social channels, you're crazy. That's exactly what happened because our country is so money hungry and we have corrupt, fraudulent leaders who are willing to take that type of money and to really damage the people.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop it there because it's a pretty long video, and you can go watch the full video, of course, on TikTok. Her name's Isabel Gruff. I'm sure it's pinned on her page or something, or recent, but she has so many good points that we could talk about just in that first half of the video. So let's talk about them. And those of you who have been fans for a little bit, you've probably seen me do a lot of videos like this recently, but I want to do even more of them because I feel like everybody who's done a video on TikTok has some different perspective about it. And I feel like the more I see these videos, the more I'm like radicalized about the banning of TikTok. Because when I first heard about it, I was like, it's not that big of a deal. There are other apps we can move to. Clapper. I've mentioned Clapper. Come follow me on Clapper. But also, like, TikTok is still a national security threat, as is anything else that comes into this country. I mentioned this in a previous episode as well. So it's not like we're totally safe with TikTok. Of course we're not, but literally anything could be a national security threat. Your iPhone that's still made in China could be a national security threat. But that's not what I really want to focus on. I want to focus on some of the other points. Our country is very money hungry. Our government is very money hungry. They are. That's why they work with a lot of these big corporations, and that's why there's so many inside traders. Nancy Pelosi. But anyway, besides that, the whole drone situation, and then they're going to talk about TikTok right after this. That is the point. That is the biggest question mark when it comes to her, because clearly they're lying about one or the other. Clearly, either TikTok is not as big of a national security threat as they want us to believe, or clearly the drones are a bigger national security threat than they want us to believe. Because, like, you're gonna tell us that you don't know what these things are, but that they're harmless? That makes absolutely no sense. How do you not know what they are, but know that they're harmless? Like, that doesn't even take a person with the average IQ to understand that that doesn't make sense. I mean, did you really think you could pull a fast one on the American people? Then again, you probably did, because you're trying to make the education system horrid. And I think it's intentionally for this very reason. But I don't know, she has a lot of good points, a lot of language, but a lot of good points. So Isabel Gruff, I'm glad this video went viral for you because you present your case pretty well. It's a pretty good argument. I'm convinced.